exist, you're no longer in my
Welcome to the Season 7 premiere of AfterMat, your source for WWE pay-per-view recap. I'm your host, the People's Champ Cal, and alongside me as always, I have my tag team partner, the Glamazon Delisha. What's going on, Delisha? Season 7, though, now. So, mm, has it been 10 years? I can't believe that, right? Yeah, maybe more. Yeah, probably around that time, right? It has to be. Oh, according according to Big Time, you're muted. No, because I can hear you, but wait, now my sound is not coming through. So what is going on? I hear you're not. You're not. It's something that's going on with OBS. Hold up. I think I know what it is. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. Uh, like I said, all this stupid crap has been going on with all these updates with OBS. So I've had to change settings, but I guess now everything can't be perfect. Obviously, there's always some issue that we gotta have. Hold on, let me see if I can figure out how to fix this. Hmm. Well, welcome, Big Time. Thank you for joining us and letting us know that she's on mute. But she's not. It's my fault. And I don't know why. Ever since the update for OBS, I've been having all these issues for sound and all that stuff. I know what setting I can find. I just don't know where it was. So now I gotta try to find where that setting is, where it's to capture the audio. I thought I thought it was gonna be fine, and then like now this happens. It's funny because I could hear you completely fine, and you should be coming through on the desktop, but for some reason the desktop is not picking you up, and I don't know why. Because did you hear the theme song big time when it started? Because it's coming through the same. Okay, you heard it on the stream, right? Yeah, so it's coming through the same channel. So I don't know why you're not being picked up via that. This is like this stupid new thing. Like I hate this. Like it's like I wait. I just heard you though. Oh wait, see if this. Let me see if this works. Try it again. Wait, now I hear an echo. So like this, it's not. Are you sure? Oh, well, wait, no. Oh, that's me talking, right? Do we hear? Do you hear you talking on your stream or no? Where the hell is that setting? I'd need to find. Yeah, and I know I changed one. I only changed one setting to because I couldn't hear my game when I was like, if I need to stream again, like a game, I couldn't hear my game through the speaker. So I changed one setting, and now I don't know where that setting is. I'm in the settings of the of of the if anybody says something in the chat, let me know if they know where to go. It's a capture thing. It's like how to capture audio. I can't find where that is. Like, oh wait, I don't think it's. I don't think that's a setting. I don't think that's a setting. Sorry, because that was. I think that's only on. Hold on, you're probably gonna see no signal now. For those people who are watching right now, you probably see. Yeah, it's okay. That's why I can't find the setting because it's not. It's not. That's with the capture card. Has nothing to do. Yeah, yeah. I know we just lost it. I was checking this. I found where the setting was. Now I just can't. Now I got to figure out why Delicia's audio is not coming up. But you guys all heard the theme song, like the theme song, all that fine, right? Let's see. Let's try this. Talk again.
Talking.
Oh no, wait. Now you're coming through a different device. All right, wait. Let's see. Try again. No. Mm, try this.
Oh, Random said to hear me. You hear me now?
Now I changed it. Yeah, I found the right setting to change it to.
Can you?
So,
is anyone there?
Can you guys hear? Can you hear Delicia now?
Help me!
There you go. See, it's so stupid. Like I have to change Discord settings just to go to. It's so stupid. I have no idea why. Like ever since all these new updates for OBS, I've been having to change all these settings, but I think I finally got it.
Yeah, the updates be like, guys, like just so you know, like we really be like on point of like 10-15 minutes before the show, make sure everything's up and running, and then we go to hit live, and the system is like, well, no, you're not gonna go live on time like you want to.
Well, the funny thing is, I can't. I saw when you were talking to me, I saw your voice like getting registered on the OBS, but then when I started live streaming, it stopped registering. And thank God, Big Time told us. Otherwise, we probably would have went through the whole show not knowing that your voice was being picked up. So thanks for that, Big Time. But yeah, like I have to change the setting on Discord now just for your audio to come up on. It's the stupidest thing. I have no idea why they've been changing all this stuff. But we're here now, right? And we're all good to go. All right. So, what were your
But I
thoughts?
didn't hear that I won the lottery. Dang it.
Oh yeah. Well, now they know, and now they're gonna come for you, for money for you. So what are your thoughts about like the pay per view as a whole?
Yeah, overall, going in, I wasn't expecting a lot, and then the pay per view surprised me.
Yeah, I remember when we were splitting up the match. We didn't really split them up. I'm like, I'd rather just do these, and if you could please do these, that'd be great. Because going in, the only person I really cared about was Brock Lesnar. I had no interest in any other matches, and I was like, I just don't want to cover the matches of the people I really dislike. So if there's a way we can work this out where I don't have to cover any of the people I dislike, and it works out that you like some of those people that I didn't. I mean, like for the women's matches, I wouldn't mind covering those, but I know you like Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair, so I was like, oh yeah, you can have those. But then it came down to like I'm not a fan of Matt Riddle, so I didn't really want to cover his match, and then I really hate Bad Bunny, so I'm like I definitely want to cover that match either.
Discuss why you hate Bad Bunny.
I don't know. I don't know. I just don't like it. Like I don't know. I guess because his first feud was against the Miz, and I love the Miz. Maybe that could probably be why. So I got to side with the Miz no matter what. But yeah, yeah. For me, I wasn't really looking forward to any of the matches except even the Brock Lesnar match. I wasn't really looking forward to it. But like, if I had to pick a match, I'd probably choose Brock Lesnar because I do like. Yes, everyone's saying that. Like, I think Will said the same thing, and Big Time saying like that should have been the main event. But I mean, you know, when we get to that point, I'll have my thoughts on that for you guys. So let's go ahead and talk about the first match of the evening, which is for the Raw Women's Championship, I believe, which is featuring the Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair against Io Sky. I believe this is your match.
It's kind of weird on account of now they're both SmackDown talent, but they're fighting for the Raw Women's Champion. and nobody wants a simple belt swap like they usually do. So it was really a bit weird. But the first thing that we noticed right off the bat was the crowd was coming in hot. And I'm not just talking about the weather, guys. This crowd was ready for this event, even if us here in the U.S. didn't. Well, I guess they're part of the U.S. Anyway, us here on the mainland as they call it, weren't really coming in excited for this match. They were excited because they got to have a premium live event for the first time in what was it, like 18, 20 years or something like that. So they were coming in hot. And probably one of the big surprise right off the bat was the crowd was 100% or maybe 99.9% on Io Sky's side. And she's the heel in this match. But they're like, nope, we are pushing Io to the moon. Sorry, Bianca, you had your cheers up until now. We want Io. But the match kind of went as far as D2 competitors going as much as you would think. As Bianca playing the strong woman, being the excuse me, being able to do all of her strong moves, trying to do multiple KODs or sorry, those were my sneeze. Uh, muscular moves. Trying to get kind of like she was double parked. She was like trying to pin Io so much. Um, but actually, we kind of started off with one of I don't know. I don't really want to call it a botch, but like almost like a misstep where I think Bianca went for like a military press and kind of like um sorry no, actually I don't know, my notes got deleted, so I'm like going off memory. But yeah, I think the most part is like Io was really showcasing her athletic ability of her high flying style and why she is, or I think they still call her that, the genius of the sky, which is why they changed her name to Io Sky. Um, but I think I think like I was saying, the crowd was like ultimately on Io's side, and Io was working Bianca's shoulder for the Wilson match. I don't remember how she injured it in the beginning, but so Bianca went for a military press. And you know how normally Bianca would hold her up and like walk around the ring, but she was selling the arm, so she could only do it one-handed. Which, I don't care how small Io looks, that is still an impressive feat. And that I think that got her like her first chair of the match. I will say Bianca did play it pretty well. She didn't. I mean, I don't know if she was like confused, but she was like, okay, you guys gonna boo me, well then I'll just play more of a straight lace, not play to the crowd, but just a straight laced, strong arm woman to strong arm Io. And for the most part, it was a pretty well well choreographed match. And then out of nowhere, Damage Control comes out for an interference. I don't even think Io was being like on the defensive end at the moment, but they came out. They got involved, of course, as they would, as I believe um not Bianca, Bailey had the ref distracted, and Dakota gave Bianca a kick to the face on the other side of the ring. And then as Bianca was laying on the ground, Bailey was holding on to her braid, but the ref saw it. And while he was dealing with um, Dakota and Bailey, I believe Bianca gave her the KOD, and then she won. But like I said, overall, it was a really good match. It was a really good match to start off the card, to get the crowd like amped up, because they definitely were amped up, and I think the crowd pretty much stayed that way throughout the rest of the night, which you don't always get. So that's why it's always good to have like a good opening match that like really gets the crowd hyped up, to hopefully they can for them to maintain it until the end of the card. I know I think you're a fan of Io, Cal, but if you weren't a fan, did this make you a fan, showcasing her more high flying ability, even though technically she was the heel in the situation, but got cheered as a face? And do you think it was the right decision to let Bianca keep the title, and so she could be the longest reigning women's champion of the modern era? They made a point to say that part, as we roll into when the draft comes into effect on Monday or today. Yeah.
So I think, well, Big Time said it earlier. Like, yeah, I think Bianca dropped Io on her face. I like Damage Control. I mean, Bailey's not really growing on me, but I really like Dakota Kai and Io Shirai, Io Sky, whatever. I think Io Shirai would have been better because it could be like Io Shirai, Genius of the Sky. If you say Io Sky, Genius of the Sky, it's kind of redundant. It's kind of I don't like it. But yeah, I like damage control without Bailey. I think Bailey's great on her own. She doesn't need it, but I think Bailey's just helping out building a team like damage control. So that's what I like seeing there. That's cool to see. But eventually, I think Dakota Kai and Io Sky can go on their own and do their thing. But yeah, it was a good match. I enjoyed it. The fans are obviously really behind like pretty much every match because, like you said, first pay per view in 8 years or whatever. But yeah, I think they did a good job of showcasing Io. You knew damage control was going to come out and cause some trouble. It's kind of stupid because like if Bianca lost to a kick in the head from Dakota Kai, I don't know if that's her finisher or whatever. Like she like kind of got up on the apron and kicked the kick. It's just like a little kick. Like imagine you lose to that kind of interference. Like it's got to be like a better interference to lose to. But like it was kind of a sloppy interference and like a lot of the match was very sloppy in my opinion. It was a very good match, and it wasn't really impeded by the sloppiness, but like the sloppiness was noticeable. The ending especially. Um, I like them. I just think it would have been better if Zelina Vega was fighting. Um, like the match was switched. Like it was Zelina Vega versus Bianca Belair and Io versus Rhea Ripley. I didn't know that Bianca was going for a record. If I knew that, then it wouldn't have, I guess it doesn't matter. But if it wasn't like a record thing, I think if Zelina won in Puerto Rico, that would have been huge. That would have been really cool. But I didn't think Zelina was going to beat Rhea Ripley. But beating Bianca Belair because she's been champion forever now. Because Rhea Ripley just recently won it, whereas Bianca Belair's been champion for like 74 years now. So I'd rather have seen it the other match, but I don't know.
Yeah, I do. I think as far as damage control goes, I feel like up until, well, even still, it hasn't gone as what they expected. I think Bailey's role was to be the elevator, for Kai and Io, but I feel like creative and the writers have done a pretty not so great job of showcasing that. Because they got a lot of 50-50 booking, and also they lost a lot outside of winning the tag titles. They lost a lot, especially Bailey. Bailey eats a pin like almost every week. Um, but I do feel like this showcase Io the best they have since she's been called up, and also I think with Bailey getting involved and it not going the way they wanted, I think this is sowing the dissension of damage to where Io can go out on her own now that the fans got a better showcasing of her ability. If you weren't familiar with her before.
That's what Big Time saying. It's building up to a breakup of the group. Yeah, I would like to see Io go on her own. I really miss Kairi Sane a lot too. I wish she'd come back. She was the pirate girl, right? I miss her a lot. But I guess she got like married or whatever and settled down in Japan, back in Japan. So, but I miss her, and I don't know. They need to have an all Asian. I love my stables. I need my all Indian stable starting up. I need my all Asian stable starting up. But didn't they have like some girl who did like came out like in this really cool outfit on NXT and she had like someone sitting on a throne behind her. I don't remember who it was, but like it was really cool.
It was Lee and well, right now she's Wendy Chu.
Oh, that's who that was. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that stupid
I
pajama.
know,
The
night and
pajama,
day.
yeah, the pajama gimmick is so stupid. Go back to that cool thing. That was cool back in the day. Anyway, yeah, that'd be cool to get a little.
That was like last year. Okay, it was like 2 years ago.
All right. Well, the next match of the evening is Seth Rollins versus Omos, a match that no one saw coming and no one probably wanted coming. Why is this happening? I don't even know the backstory, to be honest with you. It was a match I wasn't even looking forward to, and I'm like, I'll take the bullet because I'm covering Brock Lesnar. I might as well cover Omos. Well, Omos comes out first, so Rollins comes out and sits. I mean, he's sung out by the audience, by the great Puerto Rican audience that we had all night. And he was kind of basking in his glory, much like Keith Lee would be doing. And he just stood there basking in the ambiance of the singing of the audience. And right when that's happening, Omos comes and boots him in the face. And then pretty much dominates the first like six. No, I don't even want to say 6 minutes of the match because I think the match is only like 7 minutes. Pretty much dominated the first 2 minutes of the match until Rollins finally gained some momentum and started working on the legs of the big man. Because how else do you take a big guy down other than working on his legs? So he did a lot of low drop or like short drop kicks to the knees and stuff like that. But basically, as soon as Omos fell to his knees, Rollins tried to go for a pedigree, but the pedigree did not work. Omos back body dropped Rollins. Rollins finally got Omos out again, hit him with a frog splash, but Omos threw him off at a 1 count. I think then he went for another frog splash. Oh no, he went for a stomp. The stomp didn't really phase him either. There was a 1 count, and then Omos hit a choke slam. After that, Rollins put Omos into a sleeper hold, which kind of brought him down to 1 knee, and then which caused him to get stomped and stomped again, but he couldn't get the 3 count. And then, as I guess he's trying to go for the 3rd stomp, he sees like MVP get up on the apron, he kicks MVP off the apron, and so Omos is still down. This gives Rollins idea to get to the top rope. Goes to the top rope, hits a stomp off the top rope, and gets the pin on Omos, who I think is yet to win a match. I can't even tell you what Omos. I mean, a pay-per-view match. I know he's won like against Scrubs on the regular shows, but I've yet to remember him winning a pay-per-view match. I probably has won one, but it's not nothing noticeable. It's kind of like just like Damage Control. Besides with them winning the championship, the tag team championship or whatever, I can't remember them winning any big matches either. Just like Omos has not won any big matches. When you talk about people who need matches to be won, he's kind of one of them. Damage Control's another one of them. We're talking about all these people who kind of need matches won. Seth Rollins is not one that needs it, but I mean, this is just a pointless match. I don't know why they had it. I had no interest in it, and it was just a really bad match as well. What did you think, Delisha?
I mean, this match pretty much went the way I thought it was gonna be. This, I mean, it's sad to say, even though he's still like pretty not so great in the ring, this probably was almost his best showing, and on the pre-moment. So I think they're starting to see that if you put him in the ring with the right people and not just like jobbers, he can look a little bit better. I mean, he's still got a long way to go if he can reach any type of betterment, I guess. Because if someone made a good point earlier, I was watching something and they said if you remember when Braun Strowman first debuted, he wasn't that great either, just doing the typical like strongman things. But after a couple of years, he's like slimmed down a little bit and really put some work into the gym, and now he's like much more athletic than he was in his debut. So I was like, well, I guess there's a little bit of hope because he wasn't almost like a basketball player. I don't know if he was good,
but I still don't think Braun Strowman's good either. Like I like Braun Strowman, but like I don't think he's good at wrestling in the ring. He's kind of stupid. Oh, Welcome Sky.
He's well, I don't like Braun Strowman anyway, but he's better than he was during the initial I guess Wyatt family debut is what I was getting.
I actually honestly liked him better than Wyatt family. Just wearing like Sky said, wearing the sheep mask and like just being.
Well, he was also a better storyline.
His weight, like where he's a more intimidating factor as opposed to a wrestler. And that's what I like about him.
But I was gonna say like Seth can wrestle a paper bag and make it look good. So that's what I was just gonna be like. Well, Rollins is just gonna make him look good, so I'm not worried about it. But also like they got really creative in making almost look strong to where because he's so big, like Seth couldn't do the normal pedigree. He couldn't do the stomp initially because his arms were like so long, they're already on the mat, so he couldn't get the full like force down. So I thought those was like some really cool strongman spots for almost without being like strongman, if that made any sense. So I thought those were like pretty cool. I think the match still was too long, even though it was only 7 minutes. But yeah, Seth made the best of it, and it was really Seth we were watching this match, not all.
Right. All right. The next match was probably the next match I was probably looking forward to after the Brock Lesnar match, which is for the United States Championship in a triple threat, featuring the United States Champion Austin Theory against Bronson Reed and Bobby Lashley. Now, this being a match I was looking forward to, what would you expect? Probably a good match, but no, we get the shortest match of the evening because for some reason, I don't know why you don't let these guys go longer. I think they've really earned it, especially recently with the great work they've all put in, but I have no idea why they had this match for this was literally like a 6-minute match, and 5 minutes of it were the entrances. Basically, the match starts out with Reed and Theory teaming up against Bobby Lashley because he was the biggest threat. Eventually, Reed turns on Austin Theory and starts destroying him because he's so much bigger. they throw Austin Theory out of the ring, and then Reed starts working on. Bronson Reed starts working on Bobby Lashley. I think Reed starts one to go for his finisher, which is like a splash off the top or whatever it's called. I don't know if it's a name, which is a splash off the top. And when he's doing that, Austin Theory comes and knocks Bronson Reed off the turnbuckle to the outside. Then Theory goes for the A-Town down, but Bobby Lashley counters it into the Hurt Lock. Reed comes back and interrupts that and hits his, I think, the finisher or the Tsunami, whatever it's called, on Bobby Lashley. Goes for the pin. 1, 2. Theory comes out of nowhere and breaks up the pin. And then I think, that's when what's his face? Austin Theory got Bronson Reed on his shoulders and started to go for the A-Town down. But I think Reed countered it and it went for a moonsault. But as he was going for the moonsault, Bobby Lashley hit a spear. And when that happened, Austin Theory threw Bobby Lashley out of the ring and went for the pin and got the 1, 2, 3. So it was a very anticlimactic ending. You know that's pretty much how it was going to end. Austin Theory's against two bigger guys. He would have to kind of sneak a victory, which is what he did. But other than that, it wasn't that good of a match. I was hoping it would be a better match, and it was only 6 minutes long, if that. The shortest match of the evening, and it was pretty. What we saw was great. Got to bring back Bobby with a headband. It adds extra attribute points when you're with a headband. Delisha, your thoughts on this match, if you can even call it that.
Yeah,
Well,
I didn't realize it was that short, but
Yeah.
I actually did enjoy the match. I think Lashley was made to look strong, so that was great. That's check that off. Bronson looked great. He's been looking great the last couple of weeks as they've been building up to this feud, and he looked really good in this match. I think it was Corey. I don't remember the full quote. I think it was like everyone tells you what happens when you run into a brick wall, or what happens when the brick wall runs into you.
Yeah.
Talking about Bronson, I was like, that's really, that's cool. Yeah, I do hope they continue to push Bronson as like he could be your next big guy who can go. Like this man really legit can go. He's a really good wrestler. I didn't get to see the match, but he defeated Okada in New Japan, which is like one of their like top guys in New Japan. So they really had like high hopes for him as well. So he could be a Lashley type to where like he's just like legit, for lack of a better word. Austin is the one who's kind of flailing in the wind here. He's kind of going back down on that trajectory for being the U.S. champion. Because he doesn't seem to have a character, so to speak. It's just I'm the champion and that's it. Just like it's arrogance, but it's like that's arrogance is not a character. It's a but so I'm hoping with this move to SmackDown, get a little bit more fresh things going on, and that we can really dive into who is Austin Theory, and besides you just being a prick, why should I boo you or cheer you eventually, as you are on the roster. But I think all three of the men look great, and hopefully that they continue to write them well.
Yeah, so I kind of have 3 points to make about this. Of the 6 minutes that we had in the match, it was a really good match. There was good action. All three did a great job. I just wish the match was longer. Second point was about Bronson Reed. I think for Bronson Reed, he could be like kind of like that Keith Lee dude who's big, who can move and stuff. I don't think he's as agile and nimble as Keith Lee, because Keith Lee like splits and stuff when he did like the leapfrogs and stuff like that. But he's just as like he's kind of like he's kind of like a Kevin Owens in the sense. But just bigger than Kevin Owens. Agility like Kevin Owens, but just bigger. Third point I want to make is about Austin Theory. I think Austin Theory needs a better mic person to bring it out of him. When he fought John Cena at WrestleMania, that's probably the most we've cared about him in recent history, because Cena has a way of getting under your skin and pulling something out of you, right? And that's what Cena did to Austin Theory. So Austin Theory kind of needs that counterbalance to him, that will kind of bring it out, and that's why I think that's why he's lacking character. He needs someone. He's not.
Yeah.
He's not. He's not at that point where he can do it on his own yet. He needs it where he needs someone to bring it out of him, and that's what I think.
Yeah.
That's what he's missing.
Wait, is LA Knight still on SmackDown?
I never knew.
Oh,
I never knew what.
the wrong
I
person.
never knew
If
where
he
people
is,
were before this draft. I don't know where people are after this draft. I don't even know where Roman
Yeah, I
Reigns
was like,
is.
yeah, you're right.
Roman Reigns
If he
is.
is, that would be a good like measurement of putting those mic skills to work. Because as an LA Knight, it's one of the best on the mic. So that
Even
would be
Bray
a really
Wyatt. I
good.
miss Bray Wyatt. Where's Bray Wyatt been?
Apparently, I don't know if he's physically injured, but
Oh.
he's going through something. I don't know. Yeah.
All right. That brings us to our next match, which is for the SmackDown Women's Championship, featuring SmackDown Women's Champion Rhea Ripley against Zelina Vega.
Yes, and we are not in Zelina's hometown, but kind of like well, it's where her family's from. I think because I think she is either second or third gen who's born in the United States, but her family was there in attendance, sitting ringside. And so that was you could tell right off the bat 'cause I think she got super emotional when the crowd was just like really on her side because technically, not technically, but it's their hometown girl. So they were cheering with her, and she got a little emotional. And actually made me emotional because I love people getting their flowers while they're still alive. So like, let that girl get her appreciation. We started off with Zelina's mother giving her La Chancla to throw at Rhea, which I thought was hilarious. And which Rhea played it off really well by like getting in Zelina's mom's face for giving her the sandals or flip flops or whatever. But it was a good no to get everything. I thought that was pretty fun. And then pretty much right off the bat, it was pretty much the Rhea Ripley show. Although Zelina was getting a lot of good offense in of trying to, with her being the smaller opponent, she's going to try to do more of the quick set moves. So a little bit, but not quite because she's not really a high flyer. But Rhea, she's just too strong. She again, Zelina was trying to, utilize that speed and even did her own version of a 619. Someone called it something else, but because I don't remember what the area code in Puerto Rico. I think it's 319 or something like that. So I think that's what people were calling it to try to get Rhea off balance. And even I think she even gave her a frog splash as well, which is I guess you can attribute to like Eddie Guerrero. And you can tell that she's been training with her husband Malachi Black because you can see some of the like kickboxing strikes that she's been doing as well. Uh, so I think, but I also think that also throughout the match that they really showed because of the crowds being behind her, it really gave her like the underdog story, not just the dominant champion just running roughshod over like a 2 minute squash match. Like they really let her get in some offense, but um, Rio, not to be short-sighted, will be like, all right, enough of this to give her the Riptide to retain her championship. I think overall it was a pretty good match. No one really thought Zelina was going to win, but with that going in, they did showcase Zelina in a very good way. I think this is one of the best that she's looked in a long time as well, because they also don't let her wrestle a lot, even though she's like I think she's like a 10-year veteran and as far as wrestling goes. So like let the girl go and like put her. She could be a real. She's a veteran voice in the locker room. Let her be like a veteran um force in the ring as well, because it's not like she's a um like a job or like push like she can wrestle. So I would like to see more of Zelina thanks to this match. But I mean, obviously the right person won because like we were saying, Rhea just got this title, and no shade to Zelina, but you don't want this to end just because it's Zelina hometown and whatever. But overall, I thought it was good, and it keeps Rhea, of course, looking strong and good on Zelina to be able to wrestle in her what do you I keep wanting to say hometown, but it's not her hometown. But her family's home, and I was really glad to see that.
Yeah, I don't know what you would call it either, but I know that like where her heritage is, I guess. But even though she's
Yeah,
like built from Mexico,
she's not billed from Mexico.
she was when she was in TNA.
Oh, because of
So
LAX.
Yeah, they were the Mexican Americans or whatever they were with her
Yeah,
tag team.
yeah.
Yeah, so but yeah, so I think this pay per view. The one good thing about it was that they like showcased the women challengers in this match in this night because Io Sky looked really good and Zelina Vega looked really good, and they you never really see them like I mean other than being part of Damage Control and Legado del Fantasma, like and doing like Hurricane Runners like on the outside or whatever when someone falls to the outside. When it comes for Zelina Vega's case, or Io Sky being the tag team champion, or interfering in Bailey's matches, like you don't really, they're not really notable. They're just there. So I'm glad to see that both of them were showcased on this evening, and that's great to see for the women's division. Zelina Vega put up a great fight. We didn't expect her to win. Like I said, I wish it was the other way around, where she was fighting Bianca Belair, because that would have given me more hope for her to win. But I figured she wasn't going to beat Rhea Ripley, especially because Rhea Ripley just won the title like yesterday. So I wasn't expecting to see that. And like I kind of saw the same emotion that Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair showed that when they headlined the WrestleMania, or the night one of WrestleMania. I saw that same emotion, which I love to see. So that was really cool to see, and it was good. It was great. I think even though she lost, she kind of won that night, in my opinion. So that was just fun. It was a good match. I wish she won, but I wish, like I said, I wish it was against Bianca Belair and she won. But the next match was, oh god, it's just a match that Bad Bunny fought Damian Priest. I think it was called a Puerto Rican street fight where none of it took place in a street. And this is Lisa's match.
Yeah, I mean, and wrestling, the street fight means you just fight on the ramp. That's what that means. Um, yeah. So once again, we have Damian Priest, who, much like Zelina, is New York born but of Puerto Rican descent. And I think he also has he's fought like matches in Puerto Rico as well. But the crowd didn't care none about that. Who cares? They were backing their guy Bad Bunny, who is from Puerto Rico. If no one knew that. And if you thought they were tired of cheering, they were not. I don't know the words to a song, but they were singing the whole song all the way to the entrance, almost rivaling Seth Rollins and then later Cody as well. So there was a lot of singing from the crowd of people's entrances this night, which made it a whole lot of fun. And with this being a street fight, off the bat, Bad Bunny was like, I can't beat you in the ring as a wrestler. So what I'm going to do is bring a shopping cart full of weapons, I think a la Raven in ECW, to really get this going. And I did like how Damien was like toying with him. Like I think he like gave him like a little pat on the head when the match started, even though Bad Bunny slapped him in the face afterwards. But that was fun. And much like when it comes to like triple threat matches or any other type of like or any other good matches, it's kind of hard to do like a play by play of what was going on. So I'm gonna just try to hit some of the highlights that we saw almost at last night, last Saturday. One of them was Bad Bunny throwing a chair at Priest's head and then hitting him with a DDT afterwards. And then Priest giving him, what is it called, the South of Heaven, and where it looked like he could have just won the match right then, but being the heel, he brought Bunny's shoulders up to stop the count, so he could inflict more damage, and more damage meant we were gonna fight on the outside of trash can lids, and also lead over to the I, one of I guess like the stage area where they have like other equipment at, to where he gave him a I think it's called the broken arrow, falcon arrow, or something like that, onto the table, and which looked really brutal, especially when you know that Bad Bunny's not like a seasoned wrestler, so anytime they take bumps like that, you're like ooh. And then of course all the officials will come out, check on him, and then Adam Ferris is like, you got stopped, and Damien's like, I'm not finished, so he's not finished, which I thought was and then, of course, the priest, pretty much carries him back to the ring to try to inflict more pain. But Bunny would get a kendo stick to go to work on. And I think by then, of course, with this being Judgment Day, you were going to get the other members coming out. So we had Finn Balor and Dominic hit the ring before Bad Bunny could try to muster up any type of defense, which of course is going to bring out Rey Mysterio because he's Bad Bunny's friend, and part of the LWO. And that also would bring out the rest of LWO with Joaquin Wild and Santos Escobar, and why can't I get the other one's name? Cruz del Toro, sorry. And then they would also be coming overtaking because, of course, there's weapons involved. And who would come out but none other than Carlito, who, if you would have told me to guess any Puerto Rican star or any other star who would come up to help, he was not on my bingo cards. I would have lost that game. And but it was really cool to see him. It took me a second to realize the theme music didn't even register in my brain of like who was coming out. So that was pretty cool to I believe it was Dominic he gave the apple spit to, of course, because he spits in the face of people who don't want to be cool. If you don't remember that, if you don't remember that, then you're probably too young for me. I don't know. But and then we also had a Puerto Rican wrestling legend in Savio Vega, who came out to as Finn and Dominic were trying to retreat and gave them a bunch of chops and strikes on a ramp, and then they all wrestled out into the back to clear the way. Priest did try to take advantage of all that chaos afterwards to put it, but Priest had injured his knee earlier on in the match, so Bunny took advantage of that and put him in a figure four lock. Um, and then I think he also hit him with some kendo sticks, also. Oh no, chairs to his knee as well. And then a Canadian destroyer is what did him in, and Damian Priest fell down to the Bunny, and Ben Bunny is now, well, he was your winner, which was a great look for the hometown crowd for their hometown hero. Overall, I enjoyed this match. I know you're not a Bad Bunny fan, because for me, I know Bad Bunny, he's like good. Um, and for I don't know if this man played sports growing up, but he's pretty athletic for a so-called just a musician. So I was really interesting to see him go to these lengths of being able to be even want to be put in this type of match for the sake of his love of wrestling. Although if I was his agents or people on the team, I'd be very nervous. He must be heavily insured in order to do these matches because every bump you're like, ooh, ooh, is he gonna be able to go on tour after this? But no worries, he looked fine. And Damian Priest, like I know people on the internet were like raving for Bad Bunny and like the big, Carlito and all the LWOs to have that moment. But let's not forget that Damian Priest sold this match. He sold all the Bunny's moves. I mean, he is a good friend of Bad Bunny, and friends working together always pretty go well in WWE and in general, actually. But I wanted to make sure that we acknowledge that Priest did a phenomenal job. Like, this man is not getting any younger, so he needs to be pushed for some sort of belt again, whether it's while he's in Judgment Day or not, because he is just immensely talented, and I really enjoyed watching him in this match.
Yeah, he definitely took care of. Welcome, Kish, as well. How are you doing? He definitely took care of Bad Bunny in the match, making sure he didn't get injured and all that. So that was good to see. But like I said, I couldn't really care less about this match. I had no like horse in this race. It was cool to see Carlito. That was probably the best part of the match for me. There was a real long gap between when Savio Vega came out. You knew someone else was supposed to come out. And she kept looking to the entranceway for someone to come out, and I guess it was delayed in the music or whatever was going on. The gorilla was going on. And that's when Legado del Fantasma came out. You know that all the people are going to get involved, and it was heavily outnumbered for Judgment Day. So I didn't think that Bunny was going to lose in his home arena and all that. So um, it was pretty much what I'd expected. Nothing really to note. Nothing really spectacular happened, other than Carlito coming out, in my opinion. But that's what happens, and that's all I got to say about that match. The next match was with your undisputed tag team champions, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, teaming up with Matt Riddle against the Usos and their little brother Solo Sikoa, and I believe Felicia is covering this one as well. Oh wait, also the last match was the longest match of the evening. Just to say, the Bad Bunny match, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, I'm just texting Joe because my computer is about to die and I forgot to bring up my charger. So hopefully he sees that text. So yeah, we have Bloodline versus KO, Zane, and Riddle. I am going to be straightly honest. This match I had a lot of trouble paying attention to. It was a pretty much paint by the numbers bloodline Sammy Sammy KO Riddle match where the babyface are going to get the upper hand. There's dissension between Solo and Jay as they've been playing up for the last 2 to 3 weeks. Oh, or I guess post since Mania actually. Not the match was good. You kind of just hit all the Uso beats, all the KO and Sammy beats, and the Riddle beats, and whatever he does with his bro kicks or whatever. I'm also not that big of a Matt Riddle fan, if you can't tell. Um, but the most interesting part of the match was the dissension or tension between Solo and Jay. I think because since Mania, the bloodline has felt stale. I don't think we've seen Roman since Mania. I don't think, and it's showing. And I am halfway checked out. So I think Roman comes back this Friday. I think so. We'll see what that does. But because of all that mixed in, I feel like my brain was just on autopilot and I just could not pay attention. And because, like I said, it was paint by numbers. We did get at near the end of the match, Solo tagging himself in, unknown to Riddle, who was in the legal man on the other team side, and he got hit with a Samoan spike to get for Solo to get the pinfall. Even though, and then with uh, Jay and Solo having a stare down. So, well, Jimmy once again is playing peacemaker to some family tension. So, the Bloodline got the win that they needed, but also you have, I guess they're playing up the fact of Jay once again having beef with someone in his own family or dissension, which we've seen for kind of like the last year and a half. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm pretty much halfway checked out, and they need to do something to bring me back in because it's getting stale. The match, like I said, the match was fine. It was like a good match, but it was like, um, if you would have told me before the card started that this would be the match that I would probably was getting myself ready for bed at, I would have thought you were crazy because all these guys like are really good.
Yeah, I feel like Matt Riddle's stock really fell after Arcade Bro was dissociated. I think that was like his highlight for him. I still didn't like him then either, but that was like his highlight. And now as soon as Sami Zayn and KO won the titles, it's like I don't even think of them anymore either. Honestly, once Sami Zayn was done with the Bloodline, I feel like I'm I have no stock in it. But there was a good story told amongst the tag team of the Usos and Solo Sikoa with the whole dissension. I don't know why there's dissension because obviously I fast forward through SmackDown and Raw and all that, so I don't know why there's dissension. But um, it it was cool. It was good. It was pretty well told as this was going on between all of them, and then eventually Solo Sikoa won in the match in essence because he was the legal man that wasn't really in the ring when the finisher, when I think they hit, it was the haluva kick or whatever they hit, and then they didn't know that Sami Zayn was. I mean, they didn't know that I think Jay wasn't the legal man. That's when Solo came in and hit the Samoan spike, and then got the 1, 2, 3. So he's kind of like holding up the family right now, while Roman is gone because he is like Roman's right hand now because the Usos have lost the championship. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Solo can grab a title somehow. I don't know who he could fight, but if he grabs his title, that'll be interesting to see. And I mean, the Bloodline story is still good, even without Roman Reigns there. Obviously, it's a lot better when Roman Reigns is there, but to see this little storyline that happens in this match is really fun to see, and that's the only thing I really cared about in this match as well. So, but yeah, the Usos and Solo Sikoa did win the match. The final match of the evening was the main event between Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar. This happened because Brock Lesnar turned on Cody Rhodes the night after, I believe it was the night after WrestleMania. Um, and then they just started a little mini feud for some reason. Why? Made no sense. But anyway, the crowd was singing Cody Rhodes' theme song as he came out. Then Brock Lesnar came out next, and before Brock Lesnar could like finish getting to the ring and all that, I think Cody did like a suicide dive from the outside and attacked Brock Lesnar. And before the match even starts, he hit him with a steel chair and into the steel steps. And then he dragged Brock into the ring, which then officially started the match. He got some kicks and punches in for a little bit, but then that's when he went. I think he hit one Cody cutter. Brock kicked out, and then he went for a second Cody cutter. But that's when Brock Lesnar took over the match and started doing German suplex and took Cody Rhodes to Suplex City. He hit like I think 5 or 6 suplexes, and I think he did some ground and pound as well. He the turnbuckle was exposed. I forgot how it got exposed, but Brock tried to. I think no Brock kind of tossed Cody into the corner, but Cody stopped before the turnbuckle, and then Brock charged Cody, and I think Cody did like a drop toe hold, and Brock went face first into the exposed turnbuckle, and actually busted himself open the hard way, as people say. It wasn't really with a blade; it was hitting that straight on. So they had to kind of like slow the match down a little bit with getting the ref had to check on Brock and all that. But his face was a crimson mask, as JRE would used to say. And I think after that, Cody hit 2 crossroads and went for the pin. Brock kicked out. Brock went for an F5. Cody kicked out, and Brock locked in a he didn't really lock into Kimura. He had his arm. He didn't put the torque onto it or bend his arm at all. So it wasn't really a Kimura in a sense. They said, "Oh, he's got the Kimura on," but like you got to bend the guy's arm back behind him, not just hold because he kind of held it out there like that. So that wasn't even like a Kimura. He just got to like kind of bend it and twist it upwards away from the guy to make it a Kimura. So it wasn't like Kimura, even though they said it was a Kimura. And while that's happening, Cody Rhodes kind of shifts his weight and leans his shoulders into Brock, causing Brock's shoulders, because remember, Cody Rhodes is on top of Brock, causes Brock's shoulders to hit the ring mat, and the ref to count 1, 2, 3, and kind of a very abrupt anticlimactic way for Brock to lose and Cody to win, without even having a Kimura legitimately in, so there wasn't really any pain. It was just. I agree why not people say like that the Bad Bunny match should have been the main event. It was also 27. That match was 27 minutes. This was also like only 8 minutes. I felt like a lot of the matches were under 10 minutes. A lot of the 10 matches were under 10 minutes, which makes no sense because there's only 7 matches. So how did the pay per view go for 3 hours? I don't even know. August promos and all that stuff, but it was a weird night. Honestly, it was a weird night. This match did not live up to its hype. But I don't know. Alicia, what do you think?
I was into the match kind of until like the ending. It was a little lackluster for me. I wasn't paying attention. I legit rewinded it like twice because I thought he just won on like a roll up or something like that. I was like, wait, what? That's it? And then but yeah, because I was like into it before. I do think it was smart. Like storyline wise to attack him before the bell ring because Brock's just gonna like suplex you all over the place. Um but so I thought that was like smart on like the babyface part. Um but I guess they wanted a kind of like decisive but non-decisive ending because we're probably gonna see them again. Probably at is it still called Crown Jewel?
The Night of
Oh,
Champions.
the Saudi
Night of Champions, I believe.
Yeah. No, I thought it was like Crown Jewel, like not a chamber. I don't know. But because they announced the tournament for the new Raw belt and Cody's in it, which I feel like he should not win. So I was thinking like Brock would probably interfere and then they would have a match, probably in Night of Champions, and then he can and then probably Money in the Bank would probably be Cody's side. But yeah, overall I thought the match was fine. I wasn't a fan of the ending. But I'm not like super mad at it. I'm just like, oh well, yeah. I think it's the because the way that ended, they're like, well then the street fight should have been the main event because well one, it's just a good visual publicity wise because you're in Puerto Rico for the first time, like I said, after like 18 years with Bad Bunny and the LWO holding up the Puerto Rican flag. Like that's like a good shot for like the go home crowd, so to speak, to go home to. Rather than the kind of like just like, oh, so we just busted open, bro. Okay, but I think that's only probably one of the big reason why people were like, well, the Street Fight should have been made because a lot of people really enjoyed that match versus what actually was the main event, and I do not understand there is no such thing as a main event, like we've said like multiple times on this show. The last match is your main event. So
Yeah.
don't they stop this whole like double main event type thing because it doesn't exist. Unless there's some sort of elimination. But even then, that's not your main.
On on paper, this should have been the main event on paper prior to the
Yeah.
match. But after what happened, like you're right, with the publicity and all that, Bad Bunny should have been the final match because of, like you said, at the end they could hold up the whole Puerto Rican flag at the end and all that. And that would have made so much sense. This was a terrible ending. What a way to end the night. Um, so I don't know. Unless Bad Bunny had a concert after that, who knows? But yeah, I feel like that should on paper this should have been. Unless I don't know. We haven't heard anything backstage yet, but something could have happened during the match with the injury, so maybe went shorter than it was supposed to and all that. So that could have been something too. Maybe it was maybe it's supposed to be a lot longer and we don't know.
Yeah, I did hear some rumors that it's quite possible that Bad Bunny didn't want to be the main event because he respects wrestling. That he's like, I'm not a legit wrestler or something like that. But I was like, whatever. I mean, like I said, it was just really the way that match ended
Right.
is why people were like, oh, that was a wet fart.
Yeah, we gotta look at the dirt sheets and see if something happened. All right, that brings us to our finishers of the evening. So, Delisha, your low point, your high point, and your overall grade.
Low point, I'm just gonna give just specifically to the ending of the Brock Cody match. Like I said, it just left the like, oh, that's how we're ending it. High point, like I normally give it to like a match or a segment or whatever, but I give it to the crowd because they were white hot from beginning to end, and you gotta respect that when a crowd. I think it also showed that even though WWE touts itself as a global, sorry if you can hear the crying in the background. It's while it touts it as a global company, a lot of their premium live events happen in the States or maybe sometimes in Canada. So I do think where we had Clash of the Castle last year in Puerto Rico, um, Saturday, and we're getting is it Money in the Bank that's in London?
Yeah, I think so. Something like that.
I think what you're also starting to see is that a lot of these quote unquote like underserved markets for the big live events, they're gonna be so hyped because they don't get this opportunity a lot. And I think going forward, you can maybe start to see like, hey, maybe we should start going here more often, rather than just like house shows. So kudos to that. Overall, I think I'm gonna give the show a B minus. All of the matches had something positive about them, which you can't always say. Which I didn't think I was going to say about Backlash. I would say like 80 to 90% of all the matches, I was like into it. I know I said I didn't like the Bloodline Uso match, but that's because of the storyline beats of that match. Of that was just like okay, but the match was good. The match was good. Yeah, but I actually did enjoy the show as a whole, and I hope that continues for a lot of these like B and C tier premium live events because they've been pretty good.
Yeah, until we get a big pay per view outside of America, right? That's gonna be the case, right? Because right now it's just like those like not the big. I mean the one of the big four being outside America, but we also obviously having this is kind of America if you think about it, Puerto Rico, but.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. Canada as well is considered kind of like North America. Outside of North America, we've had the England pay per view. We always obviously get the Saudi pay per views. I'm sure we should get an Australian one soon, right? And then we've had the Indian one as well. Maybe somewhere in Japan would be kind of cool. You could have some New Japan stuff in it with some ties to that with
Yeah.
Great Muda and stuff, and some of those guys who are in the WWE Hall of Fame. That'd be kind of cool to see. But let it go global, like you're saying. That'd be cool to see some of those pay per views go global. As for me, the low point is probably the whole night. It was an awful pay per view, the worst since Fastlane a few years ago. The high point, I had to go agree with you. I think of the crowd. I was going to say the crowd as well. The crowd is what really sold the event. That's what made the night fun for them, and for us. Overall grade, like I said, it was the worst pay per view since that Fastlane 2 years ago. So that Fastlane 2 years ago, I gave an F. So this one I'm going to give a D minus only because of the crowd. So not an F, but a D minus because of the crowd. I brought it up to a D minus, and I thought it was not a good way to start season 7 of AfterMat. With one of the worst pay per views seen in a long time. But I guess it can only get good from here. So better from here, I hope. I mean, I guess you can go down to an F pay-per-view, but I'm assuming it's gonna get better from here. With that said, Delisha, where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram and on YouTube, actually Sheree TV. I'm actively making content to put on my channel, but I'm doing a whole like revamping of it, which is taking longer than I thought because I don't have as much time as I usually do. And I think somebody wants to say hello. You wanted to be on the podcast. That's what was wrong. Yeah.
She walking?
Say hi. Say
Hi.
hello. Say hello.
Oh, yeah, I guess she's kind of walking at the
You see
party.
Kyle? You see Uncle Billy? Yeah. I mean,
She
I
waved a
think
little
she.
bit, or she's scratching her head.
Yeah. But
Um,
yeah, you can catch me on YouTube in the near future with some new content going on.
and yeah, as always, her links are in the description below, so make sure you check her out there and support her there. As for me, like still not streaming at the moment because I was gonna do Star Wars, but like I have a really busy May. I have a wedding coming up, and I have a lot of family obligations over like pretty much every weekend, so it's hard for me to get on live and all that stuff. So I have no game streaming for now, but I'll be doing AfterMat as always on it's one day a month I could pretty much uh aside for that. But other than that, I've been so busy with school and family events and the wedding stuff and all this kind of stuff, so I haven't been able to do anything. I'm really behind on my game, so I haven't even started the Star Wars game. I got that. I was waiting for a bachelor party when it actually came in when it was delivered. I still haven't opened it yet. I've been so busy with everything. So eventually I'll get on that. But I don't know if I'll be streaming it. I just want to enjoy it because I'll be behind everyone. And I think they'll probably spoil it like they did last time for me. But I would definitely we'll be back for Money in the Bank. We were not covering Night of Champions as it's a Saturday pay per view. So we'll be doing the Money in the Bank in July. So you won't see us till July. So I hope everyone has a good June and kick off to summer and a good Memorial Day and all that. But we'll be back on July 3rd to cover Money in the Bank because the pay per view itself is on July 1st. Until then, guys, keep slaying the haters and be the champion of your dreams. See you next time.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. On we'll go, finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest, echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on